Hello Capricorn, Sun, Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So Capricorn, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energy. So with all that being said, Capricorn, let's get started. How does Capricorn currently view this relationship? All right, Capricorn. So we do have the Nine of Swords, we do have the Tower, and then we also have the Judgment card out here. Something's happening out of the blue here for you. And I do want to look a little bit more into the Judgment card just to get a rough idea of what's going on. So let's just start there. For some of you, you could be dealing with a Scorpio strongly, possibly a Gemini. It doesn't necessarily have to be the case, but let's look at the Judgment card. Tell me more about Judgment. For Capricorn, Sun, Rising, and Venus. All right, so let's see what's going on. All right, so we do have, we have the Strength card, we do have the Seven of Wands, and then we also have the Wheel of Fortune. The bottom of the deck, we do have the Ace of Cups. Okay, in regards to the energy that I'm seeing here for you, this does have a lot to do, Capricorn, with something that hasn't necessarily been working out the way that you've been wanting it to essentially work out, okay? And this could be referring to a job, possibly a marriage, maybe even a situationship or a relationship, but whatever this thing is that hasn't been working out in your life for quite some time now. With the Seven of Wands coming out here, that's kind of telling me that if this does have anything to do with like a relationship per se, right? It's like you've been fighting for this marriage to work. You've been fighting for this relationship between you and this person to work. And it's like the more you fight to keep this marriage, relationship, situationship, whatever have you, in your life, the more you find yourself realizing, okay, like the more I fight for this, the more I try to improve this, the more, I'm starting to realize it's just not really working out, the way that I want it to. And that's kind of what I feel like you've been going through within this, dynamic that you share with this person in particular. With the Strength card coming out here, this to me just kind of feels like a very determined energy coming from you. It's like you're very determined to make the marriage work, to make the relationship work, to manifest and create the relationship that you want with this individual into fruition. But it does appear to me that Spirit has been trying to get you to stop fighting to keep this, relationship intact and afloat. Stop fighting to manifest and create the relationship that you want, with this individual in particular. Now, with the Nine of Swords coming out here, especially right next to the Tower, that's kind of telling me that this marriage you've been fighting for, this relationship that you've been fighting for, it kind of looks like all it really does is bring nothing but bad into your life. So you may not see it through this perspective, but I feel like this is kind of what Spirit has been trying to get you to see for quite some time now, is that you're fighting to keep something in your life that's not good for you. You're fighting to keep something in your life that stresses you out, that brings toxicity into your life, instability into your life, lack within your life, stagnancy within your life. And it does appear to me that Spirit has been trying to get you to see that this is what you've actually been fighting to keep in your life. So with that being said, with the Ace of Cups to the Knight of Swords coming out here, to the Three of Swords coming out here in the reverse, I am definitely getting that what you truly want, it truly does exist out there. And I feel like Spirit has been trying to like encourage you to let whatever this thing is go, whether it be a marriage, relationship, situationship, whatever have you, so that way you can see for yourself that what you truly want and desire, it actually does exist out there. You just have to make room for it. You got to let go of the things that are not actually serving you in order to start receiving what actually does serve you. So with that being said, Capricorn, it just kind of looks like, that's kind of what's been going on, okay? Let's look at this person and see what's going on with them. How does this person currently view this relationship? Okay, so we have the Five of Cups. Alrighty. It's like you guys find yourselves in the exact same boat, which is really, really unfortunate, because it does appear to me that this relationship has definitely been hurting and affecting the both of you, possibly in two very different ways. You know what I mean? Like maybe this relationship, you know, for you, it brings a lot of stress and anxiety into your life, but it brings a lot of pain and disappointment to theirs, or vice versa, right? It just looks like this relationship nonetheless has been hurting the both of you and affecting the both of you. And I can tell that neither one of you want to let this go, right? Because at the end of the day, I mean, you've been through the things that you've been through with this person. They've been through the things that they've been through with you, but it just kind of looks like you guys are still holding on to one another very, very tightly. And it has a lot to do with love. It has a lot to do with the fact that, you know, you're used to having this person, you know, in your life, and this person's used to, you know, having you in their life. This person really does want this marriage and a relationship between the two of you to work. I am definitely getting that. They just don't feel like it's going to work, just due to like the amount of stuff that you guys have been going through, you know, with one another. And I do think that that's something that you guys have definitely expressed to one another, you know, as far as you guys wanting the marriage and a relationship to work. But it just kind of looks like no matter how much you guys want the marriage and a relationship to work, it just hasn't been working out, is what I'm gathering. And it does have a lot to do with, you know, resentment. Resentment plays a huge role in why things have been as tough as it has been between the two of you. You have a lot of resentment towards them, and they have a lot of resentment towards you. I mean, we do have the Tower out here, okay? And the Tower is linked to the Devil. So, you know, that's, you know, kind of telling me that the both of you have a lot of resentment towards one another. The both of you are definitely, you know, hurting within this dynamic that you guys share with one another. I'm just getting that you guys are hurting in two very, very different ways, okay? How does Capricorn? Now, the reason why Spirit is specifically encouraging you, okay, specifically you, to walk away from this is because they're not going to. They're not going to. They're not going to get up and walk away from this. Spirit knows that. And this is kind of why Spirit is encouraging you to do so. Primarily because you have the strength and the courage to up and walk away. Remember, we did get the strength card for you, okay? This is somebody that doesn't have the strength and the courage that you have to get up and walk away. There's that type of person that, you know, unfortunately will sit in a marriage and a relationship and just suffer, you know, because they don't have the strength and the courage, you know, within themselves to basically get up and walk away. But you totally have the strength and the courage to get up and walk away. They don't. So this is kind of why you are specifically being encouraged to be the one to pull the plug on this, okay? How does Capricorn currently feel? So we do have the Knight of Wands, we do have the King of Cups, and then we also have the Six of Pentacles. The bottom of the deck, we do have the Lovers out here. In regards to how you're currently feeling, because this is somebody that you love, and because this is somebody who means, you know, a great deal to you, Capricorn, this is why you continue to fight to keep this person in your life. This is why you continue to fight to keep this marriage / relationship, right, that you have with this person, you know, in your life, is what I'm gathering. Tell me more about the Nine of Swords for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Okay. So we do have the Hermit. We do have the, that's another thing too, Capricorn. That's another thing too. You know, it's unfortunate because I feel you guys started this relationship off as the King and the Queen of Cups, especially with the Lovers coming out here, and we have the King of Cups. That's kind of telling me you guys both walked into each other's lives as the King and the Queen of Cups, which is just basically insinuating that when you met this person and this person met you, you know, the love was definitely there, you know, between you and this person. You were coming from a genuine, sincere place, and, you know, so were they. I think that another reason why you fight as hard as you do is because how do I say this to you? It just kind of looks like you've been holding on to this version of them that they no longer are, is like the best way that I could put it, because your person's showing up as a King of Swords now, okay? But when you met them, they were a King of Cups like energy. A King of Cups is somebody who's very nurturing, somebody who's very loving, somebody who's very warm, somebody who's very affectionate, you know, somebody who, you know, is just overall very caring, you know, things of that nature. And it does appear to me that when you met this person, they were very much so like that. They were very warm, loving, and affectionate, and nurturing, and caring. I mean, they were basically the man of your dreams or the woman of your dreams. But it looks like over time, that's something that started to drastically change, and that's totally understandable. I mean, given everything that you guys have been through, because it does appear to me that you guys have definitely been through a whole lot. It is kind of hard for anybody to operate, you know, from this King of Cups place, you know. I believe that the both of you are now a King / Queen of Swords as of right now. I don't believe that you're a Queen of Cups anymore, and I don't believe that they're a King of Cups anymore, but it has a lot to do with everything that you guys have experienced throughout the course of your relationship with one another. It's kind of hard for you to come from a very loving and warm place when this person has disappointed you, when this person has done certain things to hurt you. You understand what I mean? So this is kind of why your person is showing up as a King of Swords, because it is very hard for a person to come from a place of, you know, love when they've been hurt and disappointed and let down, okay? So with that being said, this relationship for a while has made you feel like this person doesn't love you. It has made you feel like this person doesn't care about you, or this marriage that they share with you, or this relationship that they share with you. And you're kind of going based off of the way that this person speaks to you, the way that this person treats you, the way that this person is with you, which is like the polar opposite of how this person used to be with you. They used to be the type of person that, let's just say hypothetically speaking, you guys will get into an argument about something. They will be the type of person to rush in and be like, hey, like, let's talk about it. Let's try to figure out a way to make this work. Let's, you know, move past this. Let's move past that, you know. But it's kind of hard for this person to be, you know, it's kind of hard for this person to operate, you know, from this place, given, you know, them being hurt and, you know, disappointed and, you know, things of that nature. Same applies, you know, for you. It's kind of hard for you to be, you know, that person, you know, that's down to make the marriage work or down to make the relationship work when this person has, you know, given you reasons, right, to not continue to fight for this, you know. So then there's that, right? But yeah, I feel like you're fighting as hard as you are, as, you know, because you're still holding on to this version of them that they no longer are anymore. How does this person currently feel? We have the Ace of Cups, we have the 10 of Wands, and then we also have the, you guys are basically both doing the exact same thing without even realizing it. The reason why this person, you know, has been, you know, trying to, you know, see this entire marriage through, see this entire relationship through, is because they're still holding on to this, you know, version of you that you no longer are, okay? You're not the same person that they initially met, just like, you know, they're not the same person that you initially met. But it kind of looks like the reason why this person, you know, allows themselves to go through certain things within this dynamic that they share with you. It does have a lot to do with love, yes, but it also has a lot to do with them still holding on to this version of you that you no longer are, is what I'm gathering, okay? Tell me more about the 10 of Wands. Okay, so, yeah. This person does perceive you as somebody who has drastically changed over time, okay? Now, we are going based off according to them, so just please, please, please keep that in mind, okay? This person, you know, perceives you as somebody who only cares about themselves, okay? Which it never used to be that way, is kind of what I'm gathering. Again, you guys both walked into each other's lives as the King and the Queen of Cups. You guys are no longer the King and the Queen of Cups anymore, okay? You're not this warm, loving, and affectionate person like you used to be, and the reason why is because it's kind of hard, you know what I mean, for a person to be warm, loving, and affectionate when they're constantly getting hurt and disappointed by the person that they want to be loving and affectionate towards, okay? So just keep that in mind. You guys are both basically doing this, okay? as far as like operating from a whole nother place with one another because of everything that you guys have, you know, essentially put each other through, right? But according to them, and just keep that in mind, okay? I'm not saying that you're like this. We are going just based off according to them, okay? So they do perceive you as somebody who is selfish, somebody who only thinks about themselves. They also perceive you as somebody who tends to essentially put them and this dynamic that you guys share with one another last. It's like this person feels like you put other things, you know, before them and your marriage with them or your relationship with them. So, you know, let's just say, you know, in the past, you used to put this one over here up on a pedestal. You don't do that no more, okay? And you have your reasons as to why you don't do that anymore. It's kind of hard to put somebody on a pedestal when that same person, you know, is hurting you and doing things to essentially disappoint you. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard, you know, to continue to put that person up on that pedestal, right? Which is kind of making me feel like that's why you kind of kicked them off the pedestal that you once upon a time, you know, had them in, because of the stuff that this person was essentially putting you through. But they just kind of look at you as somebody who has drastically changed over time, and this new version of you they personally don't like, just like you don't like this new version of them. You see what I mean? So then there's that, okay? But despite the fact that this person does perceive you as somebody who has, you know, changed in ways that they personally, you know, don't like, they just sit around and they just, you know, take it and tolerate it because they do love you and they do care about you. And they're still holding on to, again, the woman that they fell in love with initially at first, or the man that they fell in love with initially at first. And you're doing the same thing. That's the thing. You're doing the same thing. What actions will Capricorn take towards this person or moving forward? So we have the Page of Pentacles. We got the Five of Swords. And then we also have the Justice card. So here's another thing too. So as you've been fighting, right, to keep this dynamic between the two of you intact and afloat, and, you know, you've been feeling like, you know what, this person just doesn't even care about this marriage anymore. This person doesn't even care about me anymore. This person doesn't even care about this relationship anymore. You're also essentially realizing too that you've been sitting around waiting for this person to change. Now, we did get the Five of Swords and we did get the Five of Pentacles, and the number 5 basically speaks of change. So just like this person has been sitting around waiting for you to go back to the woman they fell in love with or the man that they fell in love with, that hasn't happened yet. And you've been doing the exact same thing. You've been waiting for this person to go back, right? To being the man you fell in love with or the woman that you fell in love with, but you just don't really see, you know, this individual changing, right? Which is causing you to feel like, you know what, this person really doesn't want the marriage to work. They don't really want the relationship to work because look, they're not changing. They're not changing, right? At the bottom of the deck, we do have the World, okay? We're going to look at the World in a second, but I am definitely getting that something's going to end up happening here between you and this person that's going to essentially influence you to close this cycle out here between you and this person. So before we even get into all of that, I do want to see what actions they plan on taking in your direction and are moving forward. What actions? Okay. So we have the Page of Swords. We have the Ace of Pentacles, and then we also have the King of Swords. The bottom of the deck, we do have the Queen of Pentacles to the 7 of Pentacles, and then we also have the 10 of Pentacles to the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, so I guess we're gonna have to start off with the World and then jump back over to this energy, because it kind of looks like that's how all of this is going to unfold, and I don't want to confuse anybody. So let's look at the World. Tell me more about the World for Capricorn, Sun, Rising, and Venus. Tell me more about the World for Capricorn, Sun, Rising, and Venus. Okay. We have the Emperor in the reverse. We also have the Ace of Wands in the upright. And then we also have the King of Cups. So what's influencing you to close this cycle out here between you and this individual does have a lot to do with you perceiving them as somebody who absolutely refuses to essentially change. And because this person absolutely refuses to essentially change, you're starting to kind of move into this, this place of, you know what? I can't control this person. I can't force this person to change. I can't force this person to care. I can't force this person to do right by me or this marriage. I can't. And it kind of looks like, not that you've been forcing this person to care or trying to control this person. I just kind of feel like you've just been trying extra hard, right? To get this person on the exact same page, right? You want this person to show you that they love you, show you that they care, show you that this marriage and a relationship matters to them. It kind of looks like you've been doing a whole lot of that, and you're coming to terms with the fact that, you know what, I can't force this person to care about me. I can't force this person to love me. I can't force this person to want to come together with me and make the marriage and a relationship work. I just can't, you know? And you're moving into a place of acceptance when it comes down to the simple fact that you can't really control anybody else but, you know, yourself, right? And as you're coming to terms with that, you are regaining control of your life all over again by walking away from this marriage and a relationship. Now let's see how this person, well, actually, no, let's look at this energy over here. I'm gonna be honest, okay? I'm gonna be honest. I do want to look at the King of Swords, but I am definitely getting that although you are bringing the entire situation to an end, this person's, it's like they're not worried about it for whatever reason. Like, yeah, you're bringing the whole situation to an end, but they're just like, nah, I ain't worried about it, you know? Like, it has that type of feel. I don't know if this person perceives you as somebody who needs them in your life. So maybe they think in their head, like, oh, it's only a matter of time before they come running back to me because, you know, they need me. They can't live without me. You know, it has that type of flavor to it. All right, so the moment you bring this entire situation, let me say that again. The moment that you bring this entire situation to an end, which this is just acting as a double confirmation that you definitely will, this is the epitome of them just allowing you, right? Just allowing you to walk right out of their life. And it's because this person feels like it's only a matter of time before you come running. Yeah, you come running back to them. Tell me more about the Page of Swords. Okay, so all of this is kind of stemming from a place of them perceiving you as somebody who needs them. So because they perceive you as somebody who needs them in some way, shape, and or form, this is what's causing them to strongly believe, they'll be back. They'll be back because they need me. You know, they can't do this thing called life without me. They'll be back, they'll be back, they'll be back. Now, here's what I am definitely getting here, okay? This whole Capricorn's going to come running back to me because they need me, because, you know, they can't do this thing called life without me in it. I do see this person quickly realizing that you don't need them. Is kind of what I'm gathering, okay? Mind you, with the King of Wands right next to the Devil, that's kind of telling me that this one over here is definitely operating from a place of ego and pride. It's like their ego and their pride is telling them, hey, don't worry about it. That they'll come running back to you, you know, because they need you. They can't do this thing called life without you in it, okay? So don't worry about it. But with the Ace of Swords coming out here to the Ten of Swords coming out here, that's kind of telling me that it's being revealed to this human being in some way, shape, and or form that you don't need them. Now, let's talk about this energy. Because mind you, this is your energy, okay? So we do have the Queen of Pentacles, Capricorn energy. We also have the Seven of Pentacles, Taurus energy, to the Ten of Pentacles, to the Nine of Pentacles, Virgo energy. Yeah, it doesn't look like you need anybody. It kind of looks like when it is all said and done between you and this person, I was going to say what I was going to say is you're going to be just fine. But I mean, we got to take into consideration, you know, that you got the Seven of Pentacles attached to you, the Ten of Pentacles attached to you, and the Nine of Pentacles attached to you. So, honey, it looks like you're going to be more than fine. Like, I don't feel like you're going to be okay or just fine. Like, you're going to be more than fine. Nine of Pentacles is somebody who's very, very independent. And when you attach the Queen of Pentacles to the Seven of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles attached to it all, well, that's kind of telling me that you don't really need a man or a woman for absolutely anything, because you can clearly do that all by yourself. You can clearly take care of yourself. You don't need a man or a woman for absolutely anything, okay? Another thing too, okay? For some of you, this could definitely, imply that when all of this is said and done, for some of you, you might receive a promotion, you might receive a raise. For those of you who are self-employed, this could imply that your business is going to start to essentially take off. But yeah, I don't really see you needing this person or anyone at that. It kind of looks like you got this under control. It kind of looks like you can clearly take care of yourself, is what I'm gathering. Okay. So then there's that. Let's be nosy for 2.5 seconds and look at the 10 of Swords to the Ace of Swords. I do feel like, because again, with the Ace of Swords coming out here, this is them becoming aware that they're essentially wrong, about you essentially needing them, right? And you'll come running back any second now. Like, that's their whole thought process, you'll come running back to me because you need me. You can't do this thing called life without me. Okay. Tell me more about the Ace of Swords to the 10. Okay, so this is them realizing that they're wrong. Now, the only person that I see running back to anyone here is it's basically them. It just kind of looks like there's a whole lot of projecting going on here on their behalf. It's like, God, how do I say this? Because deep down inside, they personally know that they need you. They're kind of like projecting that on you, Capricorn, like, oh, you need me. It's only a matter of time before you come running back to me. But it does appear to me that the only person that needs anybody here is, them. Because, honey, it doesn't, it doesn't look like you need them or anyone at that. It kind of looks like, you got this under control. Now, here's the thing. I am definitely getting that you will definitely hear from this person. Once this person, because I feel like this person is going to see for themselves how much you really don't need them, which is going to really hurt this person's ego. But I do see this person eventually extending themselves to you. With the Page of Cups coming out here, this does definitely represent an apology coming from this person to you. You may not even be anticipating or expecting all of this, especially because you're so used to dealing with this version of them that kind of walks around like they don't really care about you or their marriage with you or their relationship with you. And the fact that this person is just allowing you to up and walk right out of their life is probably giving you the impression wow, this person doesn't care about me. But you know what? It is what it is. It's just going to it's just going to cause you at the end of the day to feel like, all right, boom, I'm making the right decision because look, this person ain't even trying to stop me from walking out of their life. Which honestly is the best thing that this person could have ever done, because look at what awaits you. It's pretty fucking nice. And look at all of that yellow, okay? That's telling me that you're going to experience a lot of growth and expansion. I feel like your life is going to get better in a variety of different ways. But when it kind of boils down to money here, it kind of looks like your financial situation, honey, is going to drastically improve on you. So like I said, you could be receiving a promotion, maybe even a raise. For those of you who are self-employed, your business is going to start to essentially take off. But they are going to come back around your way and apologize to you for everything that they essentially put you through in the past. So that's kind of telling me that this is somebody who's consciously aware that they put you through certain things. Okay, we've got Six of Cups coming out in the reverse. Now, when this person does come back around your way, they're going to make it seem like, hey, I'm just calling you to apologize. I'm just calling you because, I was thinking about all the stuff that I put you through and how you didn't deserve this and how you didn't deserve that. So technically, they are doing the right thing by apologizing to you. But let's just be honest. We all know that this person wants way more than, we all know that this person wants way more than just a conversation here. Okay. That's kind of, giving me the impression that they're going to try to do way more than just, apologize. I think that a blind man could have saw this one coming, right? But anyways, when they do come back around your way with the Judgment card coming out here in the reverse and the Strength card coming out here in the reverse, the person that's in the Strength card is the Empress. And then we also have the Ten of Swords in the reverse. That's kind of telling me that when it comes on to this individual, you're not opening that door back up. you're not opening that door back up. And you want to know why you're not going to open that door back up? Is because you literally go from being under a great deal of stress, fighting for your life to keep this dynamic intact and afloat with somebody who just walks around like they don't really care about you or their relationship with you. And all they do is bring pain and disappointment into your life. These are things that you're coming to terms with, okay? Because right now, you know, yeah, you're fighting to keep this dynamic intact and afloat because you love them and care about them without realizing that you're fighting to keep the very thing that stresses you out, that makes your life harder. Because it's not like they make your life easier. And this right here is kind of telling me that they don't make your life easier. They don't. They don't. But I don't feel like you see that right now, at least, because you're more caught up in the whole, but I love them and I care about them and I don't want to experience another failed marriage and a relationship. And I totally understand that. But there's going to come a point in time, homie, where you're going to experience the only light bulb moment. And you're going to see for yourself. You're fighting to keep someone in your life that makes your life harder. You're fighting to keep somebody in your life who stresses you out beyond freaking belief, okay? And does nothing but hurts you and disappoints you and lets you down anyways. You know what I mean? Like, so once you experience this light bulb moment and they, you know, decide to come back around your way, there will be no reconciliation. Because now you see for yourself that this is not somebody worth entertaining. This is not somebody worth your time. This is not somebody worth your investment, okay? And what's also going to cause you to not want to go back is this right here. Life is good, man. Life is good / great from the looks of it without this individual in your life. Once you get a taste of what life is like without this person in it, you're going to be so hooked, you're not going to want to go back to this. Because you know you can't have this. You can't have this with them. You can't have peace with them. You can't be fruitful with them. You can't grow with them. You can't expand with them. You know, you can't be happy with them. You just can't. And you know you can't because you've been there, done that. And it doesn't look like you want to do it again. So, you know, then there's that, all right? Then there's that. But I do want to look at the King of Wands to the Devil before we go. Tell me more about the King of Wands to the Devil. So once this person comes to terms, right, with the fact that they were wrong, right? Like, oh, snap. I guess Capricorn doesn't need me. Oh, snap. You know, I'm also getting that this person thought that you would be in a corner somewhere crying over them, possibly eating a bowl of ice cream, listening to some sad, you know, Adele song and just crying your eyes out, honey. You know what I mean? It kind of looks like you're also not essentially doing that. It kind of looks like you are extremely happy without this person, or you're going to be extremely happy / fruitful without this individual in your life. With the Lovers coming out here, I mean, this could imply that you're going to find yourself meeting someone new very soon, but this to me just kind of feels like an energy of you finding yourself all over again, you know, which is kind of making me feel like you really did like lose yourself a little bit within your relationship with this person. But I do see you reconnecting with yourself all over again and finding yourself all over again. You have a lot to look forward to. In other words, you genuinely do. But I will say this person is going to be really angry and really upset to see that you are happy without them, to see that you are growing and evolving as an individual without them, to see that you don't really need them like they thought you essentially did. You see what I mean? Like, they're going to be really angry and really upset about that. But that says a lot about this person. Again, a King of Cups, or a true King of Cups, somebody who's operating from a King of Cups energy is not going to want, you know, the worst for you. And this is kind of telling me that the person that you're walking away from doesn't want to see you happy, doesn't want to see you thrive, and doesn't want to see you at peace. Because they're not the same person that you initially fell in love with. This is a whole nother individual that you're dealing with here. See what I mean? See what I mean? They're just a whole nother human, okay? I feel like what's going to really, really upset, you know, this person the most is that they in the end, as much as they wanted to see you fall on your face, you're not. And I think that that's kind of what's going to upset them the most, is that you're not falling on your face. And it kind of looks like the divine refuses to allow you to fall on your face. You were being divinely guided to walk away from this for a reason. The divine's not going to divinely guide you to walk away from this so you can fall on your face. You know, I feel like this is Spirit's way of like reassuring you that if you walk away, you have a lot to look forward to. If you walk away, you're not going to regret walking away from them. You're going to be fine. Hell, you're going to be more than fine is kind of what I'm getting for you, okay? So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to walk away, because there is nothing to fear. You're going to be more than fine, all right? So that is what I have for you. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated, and I will see you guys.